Welcome back to the next installment of Quick Tips for Tonex One. Today we're going to be talking about the parameter adjustments that are possible on Tonex One, and also a really cool feature you may not realize is there, which is the autosave function. So basically we have two layers on Tonex One of parameters, and if we look at our encoders up here, we see that we have bass, mid, and treble, and underneath we have gate, compressor, and reverb. And we have this Alt button. So right now we are basically controlling the top layer. So if I come to my tone model, I can now control the bass control, which is going to adjust the level of low frequencies with the bass shelf EQ. We will not be able to tweak which frequencies are controlled, but we can control how much of that shelf EQ we use. So if I turn that all the way back like I just did, you can hear the tone is thinned out, or I can crank the bass, right, all the way up. I can also control the level of the mid frequencies, and this is more of a bell parametric style EQ, so I can crank that up or lower that. Now, the frequency that we're actually controlling is going to be set within Tonex software before we load the tone model onto Tonex One. So we got to make sure those settings are where we want them first before we load the tone model onto Tonex One. Then I have the treble frequencies, and this is going to control the level of the high frequencies, and this is also a shelf EQ. So it's nice to know that we have the ability to tweak things in the software before loading it onto Tonex One, and then we do have a nice set of controls to make tweaks right on the pedal itself. Now, what happens if we go to kind of layer 2 of our control parameters? If I hit the Alt button once, you'll notice the LEDs start flashing. I'm now controlling my gate. So you'll notice here, if I turn that off, I hear the gate open up and I hear some noise. So by adjusting this, I'm adjusting the threshold of the noise gate. I can go to my second LED when it's flashing, and I can adjust the compressor's threshold, and I can also come over and adjust the mix of the reverb on our last encoder. You'll notice no more reverb, or I can crank that mix way up. Now, if I've made a tweak like that and I want to save that, everything is auto-saved. So if I switch over to another preset and then come back to the original one, you'll notice that all of those settings that I changed have been retained. Now, we have one other encoder we want to talk about, and that's going to be our volume gain encoder. So when we are on our first layer, as I'm calling it, of our Alt switch, so where we would be controlling bass, middle, and treble, this big main knob is going to control our tone model's volume when the compressor is set to pre. If we have a tone model or a preset that we've loaded on where the compressor is set to post, this will control the compressor's makeup gain. So either way we have it, this is going to be the volume of that particular tone model. When we hit our Alt button and these LEDs start to flash, this main knob is going to control the gain setting of our tone model, which is basically going to control the amount of input level that's hitting the front of the tone model from our guitar. I hope that those are helpful tips. I hope you enjoy the music on the way out. Links are in the description below for any of the tones you heard in today's video.